another edition of the Stogie Review video review. As always, I am Walt. If you're new to the video reviews, Jerry, Brian, Justin, and I, we all do weekly cigar reviews. Our newest reviewer, Justin, will also be doing videos, as well as myself and Jerry, with Brian filling in every other week. For those of you that are regular, you might notice that things look a little different, sound a little different. That's because I'm in my new temporary location here. No fancy name for it just yet. Just didn't think it was worth taking the time to think up a cool fancy name for a temporary location. Anyway, I'm smoking my very first cigar inside my new house. Luckily, my fiance's at work, and hopefully won't know the difference. But anyway, I'm in a room that I'm kind of demolishing right now. It is a complete mess, but it's the only room in the house we don't use on a regular basis. So I thought, well, you know what, I need to smoke a cigar and record it, so I'll just smoke it in there. You know, peeling drywall, tearing out the carpet, all that other stuff. So anything that might stink is going to be tore out of the room anyway, so, you know, what difference does it make? So maybe she detects a hint of cigar. I'll just tell her it's her imagination. But anyway, I'm going to get started. I do realize I didn't tell you what cigar I'm smoking. I will tell you that in just a second. And also want to talk a little bit about some other stuff too. Well, I generally like to cut my cigar on camera, but it's a very awkward position here that I'm in. My temporary setup, it's the wall behind me is it had like to be modest, let's say 6 layers of wallpaper, and I just ripped it all off. Just bare sheetrock. I just threw a sheet up there that I picked up yesterday. My makeshift table is a 5-gallon bucket of joint compound, and the chair I'm sitting on, you usually see them in a soccer field. It's got, you know, the built-in cup holder for your beer and whatnot, but just trying to make do here. And I'm sure you're going to be able to pick it up on the camera, but there's a definite echo in here because of the room. You know, there's a vaulted ceiling. It's all drywall. It's not the best room for smoking, but I do plan on building myself a cigar room. Hopefully it will be done, you know, in a month and a half, maybe 2 months. But until then, this will be my temporary little home away from home, I suppose. And anyway, the cigar tonight is the Joyo de Nicaragua, 1970. It's the Corona size. The cigar I was going to smoke tonight and decided not to was the Indian Tobacco Cameron Legend. And the reason me not smoking that one is because it's a little bit bigger than this one, and I don't have a whole lot of daylight left, and that's actually what's illuminating the room for the most part. I do have a halogen light in here, but it's certainly not enough. So got to smoke this smaller cigar. Now I've had a couple of these, and you know, I'm really looking forward to smoking this one. Some of the characteristics of the cigar. One big thing that I really like is a nice loose band. You know, I can't stress that enough. I really like it when a band slides around like that. I know that it's not going to damage the cigar when it's time to pop it off. You know, it's not stuck to the wrapper leaf. You know, it's just nice and easy. Pop it off when it's time. It's a little rough to look at. You know, it's got a couple of heavy veins. It's kind of lumpy. The feel, you know, it's a little lumpy here and there. You know, a couple soft spots. But so far, it's not a real problem. When I did use my scissors to open up the cap of the cigar, the pre-light draw was nice. You know, it had a little bit of resistance, but you know, it wasn't too much, you know, to make you feel like you were overworking. The volume of smoke is nice, and it's really thick. You know, it really gets you in the mouth. You can feel it kind of coat everything. The resting smoke's kind of light. It's grayish in color, kind of dark, as is the ash. And the cigar's burning fairly well. The mascara, as some people call it, the black burn line that goes around the cigar is kind of wide, but again, nothing that's really concerning me at this point. Now, the base flavor, I'm really not sure what it is just quite yet. So we'll just leave it at that. It really hasn't developed just yet. I mean, I'm only 2-3 puffs into the cigar. The finish is crisp, and it's it's really nice on the palate. It doesn't linger too long. It's nice and smooth, and the body, that's it. The body's medium to full. It's settling right in the medium to full range, probably more towards full, and I do expect that to progress and pick up in the future. Well, by the time I'm about an inch into the cigar, I really do expect it to be much fuller. Okay, and usually drink water with my cigars, but tonight it's Father's Day. I just got in. I was drinking water for most of the day, a little bit of iced tea here and there, but I decided to, pop open a beer and just enjoy a beer with my cigar tonight. And this is just a local Yuengling lager. So hopefully people don't get too upset that I'm not drinking water with my cigar. But I've had a couple of these. I know what's coming, and I don't think that the beer is going to disturb it in any way, shape, or form. Also, going to do a little something different tonight. If you're familiar with CigarLive.com, you may also be familiar with a person by the name of Colin Ganley. He's been on the Dog Watch Social Club a few times, and it's all over his cigar rating sheet. And I decided, well, Cigar Live has a Cigar Live modified version. It was the only one I came across in a pinch, or in the quick look that I did. So I pulled it. I'm going to use it tonight, and I will go over it, with you as I go. Unfortunately, I didn't do the pre-light stuff, so I'll have to get out the sheet that I did on this same cigar. I think I did this a few days ago. But anyway, I do have one with some pre-light information on it. But for this cigar, it's all going to be the smoke information. But anyway, we'll get down to that in just a few. I'm going to take a break, and I will be right back. Welcome back, folks. And as you can see, I'm plugging away on my my Joyo Nicaragua 1970. And as you can see, the ash is really dark. It's actually one of the darkest ashes I've seen in quite a while. And from what I understand, that's due to incomplete combustion of some sorts. They say that the lighter the ash, the more complete the tobacco has combusted. And so I'm not really sure what the dark ash really entails as far as flavor or anything like that. It's something I'm really interested in looking into, but unfortunately, like a lot of cigar topics, there is not a whole lot of information out there that really gets in depth, exactly what you're looking at when you look at that ash. So I think it's going to be quite a bit of research, but I'd really like to learn a little bit more. The draw is kind of weird. It's kind of like a built-in governor, so to speak. Like when you step on a gas pedal in your car, you might have like a rev limiter. Once it goes so high, it stops, and it's kind of like what the cigar is. The draw is nice and open throughout. Say the first half of your puff, and then I guess from maybe the humidity in the cigar and the heat, the tobacco is kind of swelling and plugging itself up. So you get like half a draw that's really nice, and then the other half of the draw you really got to work for. You really got to pull on it to get it to come through the cigar, which is kind of good and kind of bad. I like it in the sense that it's like it's a built-in mechanism in the cigar that keeps you from smoking too fast. But then again, I really don't like it because I don't get the volume of smoke that I'm really accustomed to and I really prefer. But it's not smoking bad nonetheless. The body's really picked up now. It's in the full range. It's still very very thick on the palate. It really seems to really coat the palate. The nice thick smoke is really easy to play with. You can get it out of your sinuses without any trouble. But be forewarned, when you do, it's going to be a pretty intense, peppery kind of feel going through your sinus. It's almost like eating a little bit too much horseradish, how you kind of get that heat that comes through your sinuses. You're going to get the same thing, the same effect with the smoke. It's pretty intense. This is not a cigar that you want to try that with for the first time. So if you're accustomed to blowing smoke through your sinuses, you might want to give it a shot with a little bit of smoke. But unless you're comfortable in doing it, don't take a full puff and try to put it out of your sinuses. You'll have your eyes watering and everything else. The flavor is really nice. It's sort of like an oak flavor. Like if you're familiar with like the smell of oak dust, you're cutting a piece of oak or something like that. That's what it reminds me of. This kind of oak flavor, and it's also got peppery notes in it. It really kind of gets the tip of your tongue, and overall it's real nice. And and the finish is still pretty consistent. It's nice and easy. It lasts a minute or so. Nice and smooth. Overall, the cigar's going really well. And I'm still plugging away at my rating sheet here, and so far it's doing real well. The real nice thing about this is this flavor chart that's on the one side. It's nice to be able to look at something and then think, try to think of what you're tasting, and then have a list so that you don't have to try to remember all this stuff. You can see one and say, yep, it really does taste like cedar, or it really does taste like clove. Some of the flavors are kind of off the wall, like celery and milk, and those are kind of off the wall. I've never heard of those before, or at least not heard of them coming through a cigar. But it really does make sense, and there's quite a bit of flavors here to look over. So far that's going real well. My only complaint, although this is for an internet forum, is that it's too short. I mean, I'm writing on the back, I'm taking notes on the back because there's just not enough paper. I may even need to go get another one so I can write on the back of that. But aside from that, it's doing real well. It's really serving its purpose, and it's working. But anyway, I'm going to take another break. I don't want this video to get too long. I know it's probably too long already, but I've still got quite a bit of cigar to smoke, so I don't want to bore you to death. Anyway, I'm going to take a break, and I will be back in just a second. Back again. As you can see, I'm getting into the final third of my cigar. Had to change the situation a little bit here. Sun's going down, and unfortunately, I'll explain the situation first. My house is on the back of a lot. I have 3/4 of an acre. The house sits way towards the back, and maybe 150 feet that way, there's woods. It belongs to the community park. There's quite a bit of it, and the nice thing about the woods is, it gives you a nice breeze and stuff like that during the day, but man, there's a lot of bugs. And the windows in this room, they're just really, they're old school windows. It's 2 panes of glass and 2 windows. One opens in and the other opens out. And there is no screen. So I had the 2 windows open and the fan in the window, and the sun's starting to go down. And I kind of just glance over, and I've got like 100 gnats flying around my light. So I thought, well, gotta close the window, because I get these huge mosquitoes that come in, just because of the woods and stuff. So rather than fight with the mosquitoes all night, I decided, I'll shut the window, try to orient the fan a little bit, and try to just kind of create a cyclone effect with the smoke and get it to dissipate naturally because of the fan, But the nice thing about that is that it really gives you an idea of how this cigar smells, because you're in an enclosed room. The smoke's got really nowhere to go. You get a real sense of aroma from it. The bad thing is, fiance, he's probably going to notice the smell because I had the windows closed. But anyway, that's really one of the things that I missed from smoking outside since I've been here, is that you really miss that sense of aroma. And I realized that on Friday I went to the local cigar shop and I hung out in the lounge, and I was really taken in by the atmosphere. I love the smell of a good cigar in a room, and I really like that. What's going on now? But anyway, I had to close the windows. There's actually a mosquito crawling around on my video camera. Nice. I'll have to swat that thing later. But anyway. Back to the aroma. If you were younger and say you had a grandfather or your father smoked cigars, you probably got that memory of that stinky cigar, and that's really what this cigar reminds me of. It's really pungent and potent. The aroma that's in the air, I mean, it's so intense that if you get a little bit of resting smoke in your face, it'll kind of make you scrunch up and turn your nose up at it, and it'll get in your eyes a little bit, and it's just really a stinky cigar, but it just tastes really good. The flavors are just really like they have a lot of depth and character to it that makes it really enjoyable. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of resting smoke coming off the cigar, but it is producing a decent volume of smoke every time you puff, so the room is kind of getting filled with it, and the flavors are nice, but the smell is pretty intense. As a cigar smoker, it doesn't bother me quite as much. I kind of like it, but if you were smoking this cigar in a room with a non-smoker, or maybe not a non-smoker, but someone that doesn't smoke cigars, it would most definitely be unpleasant for them. I just got a little in my eye. Anyway, the body is still climbing. It's going further into the full range. The finish is nice and smooth. It still gives you that real thick feeling in the mouth. It kind of gives you like a syrupy kind of feel, not a syrupy flavor, but a feel, where it's real thick on the palate. And the base flavor is very consistent. It's still kind of an oaky flavor, but the peppery flavor is starting to come forward a little bit. It's still on the tip of the tongue. It's still real nice, and it's still really intense when it goes through your sinuses. Overall, the cigar's doing really well. I'm really enjoying it. It's starting to get a little hot, but it could be because I made a very stupid mistake yesterday and was cutting some jalapenos and decided, no, I don't need gloves. So anything that's mildly warm is kind of irritating my skin. But other than that, it feels a little warm in the mouth, but it's really warm on the fingers, which is probably due to my stupidity yesterday. But anyway, cigar's going real well. I'm still filling out my rating sheet. And that's going real well too. But anyway, not to draw this video out, so I'm going to take another break, and I will be back one final time for a wrap up. We'll do an overall, and I'll let you all be back to your merry way. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will see you in just a second. Well, folks, welcome back for the final time, and as you can see, I made a little modification to my cigar with a toothpick so that I could continue smoking. It's getting really hot on my fingers, which is probably due to the jalapenos from yesterday. But anyway, so far the cigar's been going really well. It's got real nice flavors. It's been very consistent throughout. The body's picked up. It's a nice full-bodied cigar. It's definitely something that you should really stay away from if you're accustomed to mild or even medium-bodied cigars. I think this cigar may be a little too much for you. The resting smoke is still, excuse me, it's still fairly light, but it puts off a nice aroma as long as you don't get that resting smoke right in the face. It's a little pungent if you do. It's still putting off a good volume of smoke. It's getting kind of hot, but it still has good flavors nonetheless. Now, let's see if I can do a balancing act here with the toothpick and my cigar in the official stinky ashtray. But anyway, overall, I really like the cigar, and it reminds me of a review I read a little while back, written by George Edmondson of. He's from StogieGuys.com. I'm real fond of George's writing. I think he does a fantastic job. And he reviewed the Camacho Coylar a while back, and he had kind of the same impression that I do about this cigar, where there's so much hype about the strength of this cigar that in his article he says that he expected that final puff to kind of sit the cigar down in the ashtray and then kind of slump over and never be seen again, you know what I mean? And that's really what I thought of this cigar. I keep hearing people say that it's a powerhouse, it'll make you throw up if you're not careful. It's not for the faint of heart. The box should come with a warning label. and the list goes on and on and on about how people really think this cigar is just so over the top and just incredible. But I really don't think it's super strong. I mean, it is definitely very full bodied, but it's nice and flavorful. It's not making me feel nauseous or sick or anything like that. But I really enjoy the flavors, and so far it's performed very well. The toothpick should scream that hey, this cigar's doing really well for me. So if you are if you are a fan of very full-bodied cigars, very flavorful cigars, I definitely think this is one that you should give a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed as long as you like full-bodied cigars. That is the key there. As long as you enjoy full-bodied cigars, this cigar is right up your alley. If you get away from cigar a little bit, and just to make you sit here just a little bit longer, I'm still looking for music. You may have noticed that I changed it a little bit. It's still from the same artist, Kevin MacLeod, who does royalty-free music. I kind of stumbled across him on Google, and I've been using his music. But I did speak to. I actually met someone through Herbspace. If you remember, in one of the other videos I did, I talked about how I was really into this whole Herbspace thing, and so far it's been great. But I'm going to butcher his name. It's spelled R-A-F-E. I think it's Rafi. He's in a band called Frown Upon. It's FROWNUPON.com. They do heavy stuff. If you like metal or you like just really heavy alternative, you'll really like this stuff. I've been really, really impressed. Been listening to the music nonstop. Just the one song in particular is Torment. I just really like it. I think it's great. But I sent Rafi a message asking permission to use the music. I haven't heard from him back yet, but I'm really hoping that he's down for it, because I'd love to use it. Also, even if this does go through and I do get to use it, I'm still going to be looking for some more music. So once again, if you are in a band, or you compose music, or you just know someone that's in a band that wouldn't mind us using your music, I'd really appreciate you sending me an email and letting me know, because trying to get away from that quote porno music and and get something that's more of it kind of is more my style, which is heavy alternative and metal. So. And also, before I get out of here, big thank you goes out to Stinky of Stinky Ashtrays, and just to plug him a little bit, I have a Stinky. I love it. I bought several. He provided us with the Herf Edition Stinky Cigar Ashtray, which I haven't seen yet. I don't have one. It was shipped to Jerry. We're going to be giving it away. We don't know how we're going to give it away yet, but this thing is a monster, from what I'm told. It's a 3-gallon bowl. It's you won't fill it up. You and your buddies drinking beer and smoking cigars all night, but just will not fill this thing up. It's massive, and really, I hope that whoever wins this ashtray really enjoys it, because I'm definitely jealous, and I'm going to have to get a hold of one at some point. Also, Stinky has given us a coupon code for free shipping on his items. It's I think it's Stogie Review. You can check it out on the website just to make sure, but. Stinky was kind enough to help us out here and become our newest sponsor. So, that big thank you goes out to him. If anyone else is interested in sponsorship, just contact me at walt@stogiereview.com, and we'll work from there. We'll go, we'll work something out, whether it's a giveaway or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to probably burn myself finishing this cigar. And, once again, thank you for watching. Really appreciate you guys, watching the videos, leaving feedback and all that. It's really nice. So, anyway, I'm going to let you get back to whatever it was you were doing before you clicked play. And until next time, happy smoking.